Planning a fishing trip shouldn't feel like a full-time job. With FishingBooker.com, you can find and book the perfect fishing trip within minutes. FishingBooker.com connects you with trusted fishing captains around the world. Booking is fast, easy, and secure, with access to verified customer reviews, loyalty rewards, and around-the-clock customer support. Everything you need to book with confidence is in one place. So head to FishingBooker.com and start planning your next fishing adventure today. Planning a fishing trip shouldn't feel like a full-time job. With FishingBooker.com, you can find and book the perfect fishing trip within minutes. FishingBooker.com connects you with trusted fishing captains around the world. Booking is fast, easy, and secure, with access to verified customer reviews, loyalty rewards, and around-the-clock customer support. Everything you need to book with confidence is in one place. So head to FishingBooker.com and start planning your next fishing adventure today.
Low Ride! Welcome back to the Survival and Basic Badass Podcast. Kevin and Chuck. Today, we're going to talk about bugging out. Now, not bugging out in the traditional sense, but when is it time to kind of call it quits? Now, this may be with your job. This may be with living in New York State or California. This might be getting tired because America's coming after your guns, and you're like, screw it, I'm going to go to that other country that lets you have guns.
This is the last place, dude. Oh, you mean Texas?
Oh, Texas, right. Yeah, they're full of Californians, so you got to watch out.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I'm saying is, when is it time to cut your losses, and how long do you keep fighting? How long do you, keep doing battle with your state? Because I feel like that was one of the things. Like, our kids would go to school, and you're like, well, I teach them at home. What do I care what the school says to the kids and whatever? And now we have a nation of freaking idiots.
Yep.
We're like, oh, well, we'll just let that one go, How bad could it be if we ignore that? And so, there is a point where you have to fight, but how much is fighting just exhausting and beating you down? And I hate to say it, New York feels like that fight.
Mm-hmm.
You're kind of like, oh, but if we didn't have Cuomo, that jackass, then maybe it would be okay. Now, Kevin is afraid to say anything about Cuomo because,
he
there
knows
might
where
be
I live, dude. He
repercussions.
has my picture from the driver's license, man.
He knows. He's just like, Kevin the badass, I know where you are.
Yeah, you know what? As a matter of fact, don't get me started on a Cuomo rant, but there was a bulldozer down at the end of my road digging up the whole side of the street. And there's a sign up with Mario Cuomo's picture on it saying Cuomo's beautification project.
Andrew Cuomo.
You're just digging up the street. It's not like he was planting flowers and trees and stuff.
No, there were no flowers.
Nope, just dug a big ditch and left it.
So that's kind of what I'm like. Eventually it gets to a point where you got to get out. You got to say, oh, fuck it. And maybe that's like your job. Maybe where you work. It's just so shitty that you're like, fuck it, I got to get out. I got to do right for my family. And I feel like we get so caught up in the day-to-day, and we're kind of like, well, what would I don't know. I can't give up everything. I have something safe and secure, and looking for a new job is uncomfortable, and moving would be horrible, and how do you even do it? How do you sell your house and then try and find a job at the same time?
Right. And
have those coincide where you're, do you sell your house first? Do you go find a job first? Oh, I need to work. I have to have income.
Mm-hmm.
But, and we're not all...
Burn it.
We're not...
Burn it all down. The
we're
job,
not all
the
financially...
house.
Sometimes you say, fuck it, right?
Right.
So... that's what I've been thinking about lately. So you guys have heard probably me and Kevin gripe about New York State every now and again. I know California has its own set of issues.
Illinois kind of got fucked out in Chicago in their state.
forget New York City, Baltimore, that was one of the things had me thinking was like Baltimore, these people, they're like, you see the TV reporters and they're like, it's not shitty here. And there's rats running around behind them and like crawling over their legs.
Yep.
And you're like, it's kind of shitty. I think sometimes if you're in the sewer so long, you don't even notice.
You forget what fresh air
You
smells
forget
like.
exactly. And that's what I feel like is happening to us. And I feel like it's even that on a national level. And by all means, I don't think America's a sewer. But I'm just saying that things keep, beating you down and they erode freedom a little bit and a little bit. And then you're like, well, this is the way it is. I made these compromises and this. And when do you say, fuck it? That's not right. And maybe that even means just fucking going off grid, just buying your fucking compound, putting up the barbed wire fence, and then shooting any motherfucker that comes across.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, there's that line, right? That line where you say, fuck it. And where is it? The people in Hong Kong think they found out where it is.
All right, they have a line, right?
They have a line. They wanted to be able to export prisoners into China where they would face Chinese justice rather than Hong Kong justice.
Okay.
They're tired of the police beating the shit out of people.
Who knew?
And
that's a thing.
Yeah, apparently that's it, because it's been going on for, what now, a month? The protests have been going on for quite a while. By the time this comes out, maybe they'll all be dead. Maybe they'll still be protesting. Who knows?
We don't know.
But for now, at least they're standing up for what they think is right. And obviously their culture and our culture is pretty different.
We're pretty different.
You do have to draw a line at some point.
And that's it. I mean, you go back in China, back to Tiananmen Square, and I think that's like 30 years ago now, something like that. Last month in June.
Just passed.
Yep. But that's the thing. It's like you keep letting them take, and they take. They talk about with the Nazis, and I'm not comparing living in New York to living under the Nazis, although sometimes I see some analogies. But, it was like, well, they always say, well, you just sing a little louder in church, right?
Right.
There was a story I think I've mentioned in the past on this podcast, but Kevin doesn't like me pointing it out. I'll have you guys know. So if you're like, you don't have to say that, Kevin agrees with you.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
go ahead.
But I'm going to say it anyway. So there's the dad and the son is like, hey, they're making us wear armbands and identify who we are. And now we can only shop in Jewish stores. And we can only, whatever stupid things they came up with to isolate and segregate. And they just kind of kept going along. Well, it's not that bad.
Yeah, then they banned them from listening to the radio.
They
said,
stopped
well,
with
they can't make us all turn in our radios. Then they made them all turn in their radios.
Then, and then, and before that, Jews couldn't own guns.
Mm-hmm.
It was, all these things. And then everybody couldn't own guns. But we won't talk about that. But, because I go off on a tirade is why. But then it's like, oh, well, they're loading you into boxcars to take you somewhere. Yeah, but it won't be that bad there. They just want to have us together and it's not a big problem. Mm-hmm. And when do you say, whoa, or the frog in the water as it heats up,
Mm-hmm.
Hey, it's getting warm in here. I kind of like a hot bath. This is a little hotter than I normally like.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's starting to get a little ripply around me. I don't know. My feet are kind of hot, but if I don't touch the floor, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's kind of what's happening. And I feel like that's kind of happening to America. We just kind of keep making compromises. And we're like, well, it's a little overwhelming. It's a little, too shitty here. And from a personal perspective, I'm kind of like, gee, when we have a civil war, do I want to be in one of those crazy lefty states?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think any kind of civil war world that comes out in our future, it's weird because everybody's mixed. It's not like the North and the South anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's, it really is brother against brother,
Mm-hmm.
You are, intertwined in the same communities and whatever.
Yeah.
People who are,
Yeah,
one
my
way
brother's
of thinking.
a real son of a bitch.
Your brother's a son of a bitch? Nice. But that's the thing. So, where do you surround yourself with people who are more like you? Or do you kind of, do you say, fuck it in New York?
Stand against the current?
Because you can stand against the current. And there's something to be said for that, for keep fighting. But I think there's also something to be said for know when the fight's lost.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of get the fuck out of New York. Stop feeding the beast.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's good. It's good for North Carolina. It's good for Florida. It's good for Texas because all the New Yorkers are moving down there.
And they're just going to vote the same shit and turn those into, red states too or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
That sounds right. I think that's what's happening. So all that big preamble, I think that, I'm heading south. I'm to an undisclosed location. I think that the ATF is going to have to track me down through Kevin from now on.
They're going to have to do their own work.
They're going to have to do their own work. They're going to have to find Kevin and then torture him, waterboard him.
I can take it.
You can take it?
All right. So what are we looking for when we're looking for an area to relocate to? One of the things that would be on the top of my list is space.
Okay.
Having the space around you to be able to manage your own property in the way that you want to manage it.
Yeah.
Another thing is seclusion. Those kind of go hand in hand. Seclusion, basically, you can be secluded in a small, in a big neighborhood. P.O. box. A lot of the ways that if you go online and search your name, they'll tell you where your address is. The way they do that is they track it through utilities when you turn utilities off and on. So, you can turn them off and on under somebody else's name. You don't have to stick to yourself, You want to have access to water, clean water. So, that's a big one. A lot of people don't think about this. It rains. I just collect rainwater. That's not really gonna cut it. You're gonna have to be able to produce as much water as you need,
right?
Whenever you need it.
Especially if you're thinking, I'm going to be farmer, sustainable.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to live off grid. Water is a big thing. People don't realize. I mean, some states, not such a big deal. But there's a lot of states, it's a really big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And water matters. And being able to get water is a big thing. I know you're thinking drinking water. Yeah, most places, maybe Arizona or something, you might have problems.
Mm-hmm.
But most places, you're going to be able to get your drinking water. Maybe Nevada, some parts of California.
Mm-hmm.
California, the water will be right in front of you. You just won't be allowed to touch it.
That's right.
Because, that's protected.
Yeah.
But
they're actually producing water out of their sewage collection, which is good. So I mean, you can just, it's the same water you pissed out the day before. It's good. Just
nice.
Recycle, reuse, man. But yeah, I think that's underrated a lot when it comes to, like you said, watering crops, livestock, things like that. That takes a lot more water than you think when it's just running out of a hose. If you have to carry buckets up from the stream, that's a big difference. You also want to have a place that's going to be self-sufficient, that you can turn into something that's self-sufficient.
yes.
So a lot of that has to do with local laws. I know somebody got in big trouble. This was a few years ago because they were growing a garden in their front lawn, and the city made them tear it all down,
Right.
because it was in their front lawn and it didn't look like everybody else's front lawns. But I mean, a lot of these things are, stuff that you kind of take for granted when you're at the location you've been at for 10 or 15 years. Security is another one. You've got to be able to defend your property. And if you legally aren't allowed to defend your property, that's a big red flag right there.
Yeah, and that's like, your building, your legal rights as far as, castle doctrine, things like that, like Kevin's saying. What kind of weapons are you allowed there? And then what kind of recourse do you have when somebody kicks in your door? In New York, it's a big deal. Well, I imagine it's a big deal anywhere. Somebody kicks in your door and you shoot them. But some places, you're going to be covered.
Mm-hmm.
New York, there's a good
if you
chance
didn't
you're going
retreat
to
to the
prison.
furthest part of your house
Yes.
before you shot that motherfucker, then you can be charged with manslaughter.
In New York, you're getting arrested either way, no doubt, right away.
Right.
And then
you're
you have
gonna
to
get
kind of prove your innocence,
Mhm.
right? For, so that kind of stuff. But then also your building permits or your, that kind of thing. What are you allowed to do with your land? Are you allowed to grow things like Kevin was saying, a garden in the front lawn? Are you allowed to have chickens? Are you allowed, what can you do? But also, you need to decide what's important to you. Like, I need to be able to farm where I go. Or, I'm just saying hypothetical. I'm not saying I need to. Although, it's important to me and my family that that's what we choose to do. What is the hunting laws, in the area you're going to? Is that going to be an issue? You need to choose what's important to you. Now, there's a couple ways to do it. Obviously, you want to talk to people. You want to ask around. You want to, do your own research. One of the great places to start is the Cato Institute has the Freedom in the 50 States indexed. And if you just type in Cato Freedom 50 States, you'll see it. But they actually map out and explain what their logic is on their website.
For each one of the states?
For all 50 states, and it gives it an overall ranking, but it also says this is why it's good. Mm-hmm. So they have different stuff, like they have economic freedom, fiscal freedom, personal freedom, regulatory freedom, all these different things, and then you can decide what's important.
Right.
Now, they might consider like the right to have an abortion is a greater freedom because it's you being allowed to decide what you want with your own life. So things may not necessarily align with your values, but you got to pick it out, and they will make clear what everything is going on there. They'll talk about how likely you are to be arrested there. How many people are in prison. They talk about, what their drug laws are. Maybe you want a place that has tighter drug laws and not free for all on the heroin. But these are all things that are outlined and show you. But also it'll say land use laws. Yeah. It'll talk about income, meaning what are they taxing the fuck out of you for? That kind of stuff. So these are all things you need to weigh out and decide when you're choosing the right, place for you. But you also want to be around like-minded people. You want to be around people who, you're going to connect with and that are going to have your back, Then you have to decide, all right, well, I want all these things, but that basically means I need to move to a cave in the middle of nowhere. Well, yeah, to get my level of freedom, that's what I need to do.
That's what it takes.
Basically I'm going to the Ozarks and I'm going, in a big mountain.
And not coming out
and
again.
I'm just going to go into the bunker and I'm not coming out. We will be able to keep the podcast going because
from in the bunker.
From in the bunker, because I've set up some underground wires. But I'm just saying it's going to be a little sketchy.
Yeah.
But with that, it's what's important to you. But now you also have to be able to make an income, right, to sustain it. Sustain your family. Maybe you have enough money to buy property and pay taxes. And you can just hunt and fish and love every day. And maybe your wife's going to make moccasins out of fish skins and deer hides. That's fine. They might be smelly. But you need to find a way to do it. But if you can't sustain yourself and produce income or supply whatever you need, or maybe you have debt you're trying to pay off or whatever you got to do, you may need to get a job. And if you need to get a job, you need to weigh, all right, where's the place where I can be most free, make the most amount of money, and my money go far enough that it's going to take care of me where I'm not paying the government. And maybe I want something where I don't have to support a bunch of, or pay for with my tax dollars, a bunch of things I don't believe in. And you have to find a way to balance all that together and juggle it. But what I will say is when I went to go look for a job and kind of pulled my head up out of the sewer like we were talking about, it turned out there are other places out there, and there is money to be made, and there is people who, now I'm kind of an independent guy. I've really worked kind of for myself for a long time. I do work with another guy who's the boss man, but I get very independent. I get an email that says go these places every day and handle your own business, charge whatever the hell you want to charge, and do what you want to do. That's all cool for me, and that worked for me. Now I'm going to kind of a more company structure and whatever, but also the price is right. And that's something I had to weigh and decide. It was really important to my wife to have health care and all this other nonsense that, I was like, whatever. If it doesn't fall off, don't worry about it, right? That's always been my policy on health care. Right? But that's, you have to find a way to balance. But when you stick your head up and look around, it doesn't hurt to kind of regroup and reevaluate and say, how much am I giving up? Now, there's also a lot to be said that there's a good chance I'll run out of New York and where I go is going to change their laws and end up just like New York. Kevin's saying places like Florida, or I mentioned Texas has California invading it over there. And all of a sudden, the laws are going to be just like where you left. I mean, you can't run away forever. We have to keep fighting, at some point.
Right.
Although we could look outside the country. I mean, I'm just saying that might be an option.
I'm just saying Uruguay has the lowest corruption in all of South America.
Okay.
Which is like saying you're the smartest retard.
Yeah.
But, just saying.
Right. Well, it would be... I don't even think people like words like retard anymore.
I'm sorry. I meant it'd be like saying you're the tallest midget.
Oh, that's better.
Are you not allowed to say midget either? Oh,
little people? Up to here?
Yeah, no, I'm already in trouble. That's all right.
All right. So, that's, you got to be careful, though, that the world isn't going to just, keep following you. You do have to keep fighting. You do have to... kind of ensure that freedom stands for the next generation. And, people look back as, they used to talk about World War II as like the greatest generation. And the idea was these men gave everything for freedom. They gave it all so that the people after them would have.
Right.
Or at least that's what a lot of people believe when they were fighting. I mean, you can argue the politics of war and, that's another story, but you have to keep fighting for the next guy. If there's not a next guy, then it kind of, life loses meaning. You don't feel the connection if there isn't something more.
Yeah.
Some legacy to leave behind you. And if you just let it all turn to shit and you're like, well, I got mine.
Yeah.
I think that's why.
When I burn tires in my backyard, I pull my son over and I say, son,
this is for you.
This is for you. This is for your children. You don't even have to worry about it. It's your kids that are fucked.
They're fucked.
So, I mean, I'm all right with that.
You're good.
Yeah.
See, but we all make these choices. We lay it out, and then we decide where we want it to be, and then we make our choices, and we go with it. But that's the whole thing. You just want to leave a legacy that's right, so don't give up on things. But also, you want to do what's right for you and your family.
That's right.
Now, there's actually something that would be horribly wrong for you and your family, and that would be red flag laws.
That's right.
Now, let me tell you about what I think about red flag laws. Oh, wait, you maybe had something?
Go ahead.
No, we're all right? Okay, I didn't want to cut Kevin off. I mentioned red flag laws, and I saw his eyes light up over there. He was like, But that's the thing is, dude, total freedom. If you can just snitch on your neighbors. Now, the commie Pinkos tried this once. And they were like, hey, if you just say, hey, that guy looks suspicious. I don't know if he really loves the government. I think he's kind of suspicious. He might be trying to work against the government. Could you just report that to somebody? We could set up a system?
Just let them know, yeah.
They might be just about to cause trouble. I see people coming in and out of their houses like they have meetings at their house.
What?
You might want to report that to the government.
Turn them in.
Turn them in.
I heard that my friend posted a picture on Facebook of him hunting. Not my friend anymore.
No.
I didn't know he had a gun in the house.
Woo!
He's got a child.
No. So
ridiculous.
These are the kind of things that red flag laws bring, though.
Yeah. Now, red flags, we've got them in New York State,
Okay.
Delaware, Illinois, Maryland, Massachusetts, New Jersey, Rhode Island, Vermont, California, Connecticut, Indiana, Oregon, Washington, and now Florida.
That sounds like a lot of states.
That's a lot of states.
Now, the state I'm moving to, you didn't mention.
I didn't mention that one.
Nice.
All right.
So you can just
So
check
here's
off.
a-
If
there's
you
a
guys
clue
have
for
like
you,
a checklist, ATF, you can cut it down.
Uh-huh.
But it turns out I'm not a red flag supporter.
No, neither am I. And it's really, it seems like it could really be abused as far as
Yes.
how to get your neighbors shot.
Yes. It's a really good way to get your neighbors killed. You
Mm-hmm.
don't like your neighbor? Now, maybe you're like, oh, if you could just kill him but leave his hot wife, she might need a shoulder to cry on.
Never works out that way.
Nah, they
it
always
never
get
does.
shot first.
I've seen it 1,000 times.
Because you know we're going to be hiding behind the wife, just like Bin Laden. Bin Laden was like,
Yeah,
no!
grabs his wife and put her in front of him.
And he
Good move.
threw the girl in front, but it didn't pay off. They were like, no, she's dead, you're dead.
Everyone's dead.
Because they just shoot him in the kneecaps, and then the wife goes down, and then it's all over.
Yep.
But, I mean, that's the thing. You're not going to be able to get your neighbor's wife just by reporting them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you think that's always the way it plays out in your mind. But sometimes, like, she might hold the grudge and be like, I knew it was you.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the way you
knew.
look at us.
Yep.
It was you.
But what are you going to do?
And that's the thing. So I put a post up that was kind of like a thought experiment up in the Facebook group.
Uh-huh.
And I got a little bit of a reaction from you guys, and you were a little worried about it. Basically, it plays out like this. Neighbor moves in, finds out you're a gun nut, knows you like AR-15s or black scary rifles, and all of a sudden takes offense to it. Because he has no understanding of what guns are, maybe you have like a binary trigger, and you're like, blah, 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 you know, and you shoot off some badass rounds, right?
Right.
Maybe you're like, well, it's more fun if I have that 100-round magazine because you can just freaking get that barrel
Just go.
glowing red.
Just
you know,
go.
you're like, yeah. And, you know, you're tearing it up. He's like, oh my God, that guy's got a machine gun. I feel like he's definitely, I don't know why he has those targets that look like
People.
schoolgirls or something. I don't know what people think, right?
All right.
Because they're psycho. No, I can't say that either.
I don't know what kind of targets are available. I feel like there's got to be
They're
like
zombies.
zombie ones. I've got some of those. I'm sure there's some.
I've seen, because there was like a zombie target that's like a little girl in a dress with pigtails and then like
But
zombie
she was-
eyes and yeah.
Oh, she was a zombie anyway.
she was a zombie.
Okay, all right, that makes a little
So
bit
this
more
guy
sense.
saw
then.
it and he's like, look, that guy wants to shoot little girls. And you're like, no, that's not what anybody wants. That's ridiculous. Or he pops in the Survival and Basic Badass podcast and hears this conversation.
Red
and he's
flag.
like, oh, red flag, like that. And in a really high pitched voice. You know what I'm talking
I
about?
know what you're talking about.
All right.
The vegan diet does that.
The vegan with too much soy, and then that has estrogen
Right.
in it.
Yep. That's
and
where it
you're
comes
done.
from.
That's just wrong. So, well, I think it's right, actually, but it's just hurtful, Kevin.
All right. Sorry.
You got to be sensitive. Some of these people out there may be vegans. They might be spitting out.
And I support your
they might
poor
be
diet
spitting
decisions,
kale juice out their nose right now
along with their teeth that are falling out.
with their rotten teeth. Can't you see what being a vegetarian has done for me? I weigh 80 pounds. And the rotten teeth. I don't get it. All right. I'm sure there's a way around it. I'm sure some of you would like to explain that to me in the group.
I know vitamin D supplements. I know.
But you're not taking them because I can tell. But anyway, that was just mean and hurtful, and I'm sorry. But bottom line, so those were hypotheticals. Obviously, I don't shoot at little girl zombie targets because that would make the planet go
Yeah,
bad.
I've never done that.
We've never shot a gun. me and Kevin are offended by your presumption that may even be a thing.
But if I wanted to get a gun
And shoot it at little
and
girl
shoot
zombie
targets,
target.
I'm sorry. I thought this was America. I thought I could do what I wanted here.
Whoa,
Apparently not.
whoa. Red flag.
Red
Kevin,
flag. That's
I'm
a red
gonna
flag.
drop the red flag on you.
Instead of killing people every episode, we should just red flag each other.
Red flag. I'm going to throw it down. You know, anytime Kevin kills somebody, red flag.
Red flag.
Throw it down. I feel like in the past there may have been some red flags.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to have to erase all the previous episodes.
I think that's the best move.
And I feel like anything I've ever posted on
Beijing
Facebook,
already has them all downloaded. They've got an extensive library.
and they'll send it over.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, anyway, basically, your neighbor's like, oh, fuck. So the idea is cops don't want to get shot. That's the thing.
Right.
So they're like, you know what? It'd be cooler if I get you at 2 a.m. because you're probably sleeping and you won't have your AR-15 ready.
Right.
Joke's
move.
on them because my AR-15 is ready. But they don't know that. And then, so now they heard this podcast and they're like, now we got to have body armor, maybe some flashbangs we got to throw into Chuck's
Throw in
bedroom.
some cribs. Yeah,
And-
or the bedroom, wherever.
Or in the crib.
Yeah.
Right. Whatever. You know, you got to keep them guessing. So they throw in the flashbangs, come in shooting. Oh, because you're like, what the fuck? Your dog's going apeshit. Roar! That's what my dog would sound like, I imagine, in this world, right?
in this scenario.
So he's barking. Cops are kicking in things. They got the ATF badge on the back because, you know, why not? They got the ball cap.
Right?
Backwards. Oh, yeah, they're sexy. So they're kicking in. They probably got hearing protection in there because they're like, what? And then you're like, wait, don't shoot. I'm just a nice guy. But they don't hear me because they got hearing protection. So they don't know what's going on. They're like, and you couldn't hear me because I was just like, if I couldn't hear, I was making mouth faces and I was pointing at my ear and saying what with my lips.
Right.
That's what they were hearing. They were like, I can't hear you. I did it again, but it didn't work the second time either. So you get what I'm saying. And then they're shooting up everybody, shooting your wife's kneecaps out. It's not good. And then like little Tommy comes out with the teddy bear.
Tackle him.
Tackle him
Knee
down.
in the back.
The dog's barking.
Stop resisting.
And then they shoot the
The
dog.
dog's done for. He's done
He
for.
was shot before. When he
You're
was
done
like,
for.
"Roar, roar."
The dog's done
That's
for.
why that's all you heard of him. Because that was all he got out. And then they're shooting. So this is why we need tripwires outside to alert us when the ATF is approaching.
Right, so we can safely unload all of our firearms.
And lay him down on the floor. And, you
Chain
know.
up the dog.
Exactly. They
They'll
don't
probably
care if
shoot
he's
him
chained
anyway.
up. They'd shoot him anyway.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of thing that red flag laws lead to. They also lead to neighbors trying to get their grudge, snitching on everybody. And also there's a lot of misinformation. Guess what? Law enforcement and warrants and judges are supposed to be trained to evaluate these things. Red flag laws eliminate that evaluation process.
Right.
They kind of just go right to, let's go fuck with people right out of the gate. They take away the guns. Your Fourth Amendment rights, secure, is not
That's
secure
not
anymore.
secure anymore.
And they basically take away your freedoms. And you have to fight as an American to prove you're innocent
Right.
and get your rights back
right. and
instead
that's
of
not
the other way.
Yeah, that's not the way it should be.
And the due process, yeah, that's gone. So that's the whole thing. And why should you have to pay a lawyer to get your guns back when they say like 80% of the time with red flag laws, you never get your
it
guns back. So these are the kind of things. And once you're labeled as a bad guy, it's over. It's never going to work out for you. So that's what I have to say about that. Don't move to a state with a red flag law. And if you live in one, it's time to think about moving. Now, you're thinking, well, yeah, but there's just going to be national red flag laws. Well, maybe. But let's try and put your family first is all I'm saying. You know, maybe it's time to get that passport. Maybe you go on vacation. Maybe you don't come back. I don't know. I don't know what you do with your own time. But, yeah, that's what I pretty much have to say about that. So with that, you guys know if you have questions, concerns, comments, you can email us at preppingbadass@gmail.com.
That's right.
Maybe you enjoyed this episode and you feel like, I'd really like to help support Chuck with his move and everything, and I'd like to send him a little cash fundage. Maybe, you know what? I feel like I want him to be able to sustain a lifestyle where he's able to shoot and do whatever he wants. I'm going to send a little bit more cash fundage, and I'm going to make it monthly.
That's right.
If you're willing
Monthly
to do something like
subscription.
that, I may send you a patch
That's right.
that says Prepping Badass. Show my love right back at you. Mm-hmm. It might take me 4 weeks, maybe even 5 weeks to get that patch to you. But, I blame the mail service.
That's right. It's the mail's fault.
Mail's it's run by the government.
Yeah.
What do you expect?
What do you think is going to happen?
Come on. So, something like that. Support us on Patreon. Patreon.com/preppingbadass. Something you could do. Also, you guys know we like Tac Pack. Tac Pack basically is a monthly subscription product where they basically ship out once a month about $100 worth of gear, and for $49.95. And this is carefully selected by, I'm willing to say there's probably some combat veterans there.
Yeah.
Probably. I don't know.
I've actually
that might
gotten
not
some
be
things,
factual, but I feel like probably.
Yeah, I've gotten some things from that Tac Pack that I've had to go online and order more of because all my friends wanted to be cool too.
And that's the cool gear you could have. You could be cutting edge, the first in a group of many. So, maybe you want to take that leap. Something you could do. Now, if you use the code BADASS, it'll open doors for you. You might get some bonus cool shit. So, something to look at. Also, if you guys ever feel so inclined, you might want to head over to iTunes and leave a review, or wherever you download this fine podcast. Spotify, Stitcher. I don't even know what Stitcher is, but I think we're on it.
Yep.
I don't know any other
Podcast
names
Addict.
of things.
There's like a whole bunch of them.
There's a green one. No, that's Spotify. iHeartRadio. I think we're on there.
Yep.
Yeah. So
iTunes, if it still exists.
iTunes, it's a thing. All right. So with that, stay safe, and we'll talk to you guys next week.
The Survival and Basic Badass podcast is a proud member of the Self-Defense Radio Network.
Planning a fishing trip shouldn't feel like a full-time job. With FishingBooker.com, you can find and book the perfect fishing trip within minutes. FishingBooker.com connects you with trusted fishing captains around the world. Booking is fast, easy, and secure, with access to verified customer reviews, loyalty rewards, and around-the-clock customer support. Everything you need to book with confidence is in one place. So head to FishingBooker.com and start planning your next fishing adventure today. Planning a fishing trip shouldn't feel like a full-time job. With FishingBooker.com, you can find and book the perfect fishing trip within minutes. FishingBooker.com connects you with trusted fishing captains around the world. Booking is fast, easy, and secure, with access to verified customer reviews, loyalty rewards, and around-the-clock customer support. Everything you need to book with confidence is in one place. So head to FishingBooker.com and start planning your next fishing adventure today.